best pro wrestling podcast. What does that mean?
Skullduggery.
What else?
You can tell Dan has been working out. All about sets and reps.
I don't get it. Keep on sucking.
This is the best pro wrestling podcast. We're going to do our best to keep on sucking and keep talking about pro wrestling in a somewhat positive way. My name's Tommy Stryker, host of the show. Joining me is Joe.
What up?
Taco is here.
What up?
And we got a lot to talk about this week. We've got predictions for Survivor Series coming up this weekend. NXT Takeover War Games in Houston, the same on Saturday. Plus, I want to talk a little bit of what was the other thing?
Ring of Honor's having a big weekend.
Well, Ring of Honor. Yeah, well, Ring of Honor's all over in Texas as well. They got a 3-day house show tour in Texas and Oklahoma, I believe. And so they're doing house shows there.
Free house show tour.
But yeah, they got Kenny Omega on those shows going up against TakeOver on Saturday. So big weekend for Ring of Honor. For New Japan fans, the World Tag League is starting this weekend. If you want to hear more about the World Tag League, check out the last couple episodes of Strong Honor. The three of us went over and previewed the World Tag League last week. And then this week I did a little off the top of my head prediction of the A and B blocks. Nothing too heavy, nothing set in stone, but I'm going to do my World Tag League predictions this week. And
friends.
You guys are going to do them as well. And we'll have a little friendly competition over there on Strong Honor as we get ready for the Tokyo Dome coming up at the beginning of the year, January 4th.
There's no competition. I'm winning it all.
All right, if you say so. But yeah, big weekend coming up for Survivor Series and TakeOver, so we'll talk about all of that here as well. But before we do that, let's get into a little bit of the news.
Pro wrestling news. We have quite a bit of news for you. News.
Big story, WWE released James Ellsworth this week. What a year for James Ellsworth. He comes in, has the squash match with Braun Strowman a year ago, gets over with his two fists, anyone with two hands promo, and just that face, and comes out with that T-shirt and ends up on SmackDown, has a feud with AJ Styles. What a year it's been for James Ellsworth. Good for him, making some money, having a 1 year, a year plus experience there with WWE. I hope he goes back to the Indies and continues to make a little living for himself.
I think he's kind of could be definitely wrong on it, but I think he's like a trainer in Maryland or something like that too, or has like a school. So
that works
this is a good fucking tour for him to build out his name a little bit more and do it a solid for a whole fucking year. Like, he's a fucking goon, but look what he was able to do with the stupid ass AJ Styles storyline he had. Like, that went on too long, but it wasn't the worst thing on TV at the time. And he definitely helped Carmella out too. Find her roots in a little bit. So good job, Ellsworth.
Yeah, I think the Ellsworth thing ran its course. We'd seen enough from him on the WWE stage. He wasn't blowing anybody. He wasn't going to have blow
he wasn't
away
blowing
matches.
Anybody.
He wasn't going to have blow away matches or anything like that.
I like that his farewell tour was just him getting his ass kicked by a bunch of women over and over again.
Yeah, the first intergender match we've seen in a long time.
And it's pretty rad too, because it's pretty apparent that he knew it was coming. WWE knew it was coming, so they sent him on this fucking tour. One last tour. We'll get one last hurrah.
James Ellsworth was like he was like the guy in Office Space, just showing up, and they thought he was fired, but they keep sending him a paycheck. He was just waiting for the paycheck to stop coming.
No, you're mistaken for him for Dolph Ziggler.
But yeah, I think Ellsworth was probably one of those guys just thankful to even be there week to week. You want me to wear a dog collar and get drug around by Carmella, whatever you want.
Right. Well, it sounded like too, just backstage, all the way from Vince McMahon to to anyone on the roster, name it. It's just he built a good rep for himself. So
there you go.
It's awesome.
I'm sure
he's a good guy.
I'm sure he'll take this fame and make some money on the indies. Like you said, he's got a school, and then this will help him
He can buy himself a new chin.
Well, he can get some new students to the school now that he's got some name recognition value or whatever. So. All right. Other news, Lucha Underground announced that there will be a season 4, but
Yes.
we don't know.
See.
It's about all we know. We don't know who's funding it, whose money is behind it,
who's going to be back.
Who's going to be back? Definitely not Prince Puma, a.k.a. Ricochet. I suppose it could be Prince Puma played by somebody else, but I don't know who you're going to get to replace Ricochet. So there's that.
Looked a little bit into about like the whole taping experience and the last episode of Lucha Underground, and because some people were like, yeah, it kind of sucks that Puma didn't get a farewell on TV or a thank you to everyone. I guess they did actually do a thing afterwards, and everyone came out and did like a big thank you thing for him. So and on decent terms.
But Dario got killed allegedly.
Allegedly.
Apparently. I mean, there's always the gods thing and the resurrection storyline or something. But, I mean, he was one of my favorite characters, obviously with Puma gone. But it's interesting what's Mundo's situation, because it was Mundo who was in the season 4 teaser trailer or whatever, with the four fingers or whatever. And he's all over Impact now, Johnny Impact. So it makes you wonder. I mean, he might have a completely different deal than anybody else.
Oh God, what if it's Anthem?
I doubt it. I highly doubt that Anthem is behind the money for Lucha Underground, but you never know. A lot of people saying that there's a definite possibility that it's going to continue under a much smaller budget, so you might not see as many big names on there. You might see a lot more local talent. So I guess we'll see. Well, it'll be a wait and see kind of a thing when they get this thing taped and probably come out late next fall or sometime next fall, depending on when they actually start taping the thing.
They've got our interest. That's all that matters.
Well, that's the thing, too, is I think there's a lot of mixed feelings on this, and I'm kind of mixed on my feelings for it as well, because it felt like a nice wrap-up at the end of the last season. But I think a lot of wrestlers are kind of upset with Lucha Underground for the contract situation and not being able to go get more lucrative deals and work TV for things like Impact or even go to WWE or New Japan.
The whole situation was just such a new situation because Lucha Underground was a new, ideally a new organization. El Rey Network was a whole new channel, and a lot of these guys are big names right now because wrestling is fucking huge, but let's rewind 4 years ago. Joey Ryan, was he as well known? Was Ricochet as well known? No, they weren't.
Well, Ray Phoenix and Pentagon, too. Those two names that came straight out of Mexico, and those two are both huge in the U.S. right now on the indie scene.
Fucking AR Fox right now, man. We're so over on that cat. So it's just like, it's the contract game. You sign the dotted lines. It's just, read the fine print.
Absolutely.
It's part of learning the business, too. It's a lot of these guys are their own businessmen, so that's how you live and learn.
Jack Swagger is going to Bellator to be an MMA fighter. He's in his upper 30s there.
Yeah, this is going to be rough for him.
So it's Bellator. They're kind of known to be the shit show promotion for MMA.
I believe this is for their Grand Prix that they're going to be doing, heavyweight Grand Prix.
But I don't think he's actually in it. He's
Not in that?
He's a replacement.
So if somebody gets injured, because they've already announced
they got some heavy fucking hitters on this fucking tournament. This is probably one of the best things Bellator has done. So I was kind of skeptical that he was on that.
Well, I mean, he only has a wrestling background. He has no other mixed martial arts type training.
He's a former world heavyweight champion. He fought the Big Show and defended it, dude. Come on.
But no, he does have the legit collegiate experience or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. It's not like a CM Punk who had no legit background. Right. He was just a pro wrestler guy. So with a little bit of that legit background from his collegiate days, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Although it's coming in really late to the game for MMA.
It's even Brock Lesnar had shaky feet at first.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Good luck.
Ring of Honor announced, they haven't officially announced, but the Joe Koff was interviewed and said that Ring of Honor is working on doing an over-the-top streaming service, hopefully sometime in early 2018. The Ring of Honor website has been kind of locked in the dark ages for a while.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to have something with some solid apps for smartphones, smart TVs, etc., so you can watch Ring of Honor and have all the pay-per-views. Make these house shows that they do feel a little more relevant, because right now they're doing all these great shows and selling out all of these great houses, and they're doing these little tournaments here and there on these shows to make them feel a little bit better. But I think they could go even further to make all of those house shows feel more important, put them on this over-the-top streaming thing, still have your big pay-per-views and make them feel even more important. But
Well, kind of take a page out of NXT's book. I mean, their shit's recorded, and there's no major spoilers on it most of the time. But you don't see a champion on TV when you know he lost already.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Really
hurts. They do have to get a lot better about getting relevant shows after pay-per-views up on their TV. The consistency or the continuity between the TV show and what happens on pay-per-views and house shows is a big problem. And they got to get, whether it's an editing issue or just the fact that it's syndicated or whatever. But I mean, it's syndicated on their own networks. It's a Sinclair thing.
Yeah.
So you'd think they'd be able to get those shows up in a more timely fashion. So
Nope.
I guess not. I think that was all I wanted to touch on news-wise. Daniel Bryan recently did an interview saying that he's about 85% sure that he's going to wrestle again, but he's saying there's only about a 20% chance that WWE will clear him. He says he is going to put family first when it concerns his career, but all of the doctors that he is talking to is saying that him and his brain are healthier than most people's brains at this point. So most regular people that aren't pro wrestling and taking bumps and stuff. So he is very serious about his health and his family, but he's definitely driven to get back into a wrestling ring and perform.
We gotta think WWE's serious about the health too, because it's just it's that situation.
And the reason WWE doesn't want to clear him is because not only the concussion issue, but like in his book, he was saying he was, lying to doctors about concussions, things like that, and the ongoing concussion lawsuit that WWE is in right now, they're not going to clear him. They're just not going to, they just don't want that legal liability.
All this knowledge that keeps coming out with, the CTE scans and fucking Hernandez, his fucking brain was the worst case they've ever seen of it. And so it's just like, you don't really know until you're fucking dead, man. And you just have a new baby girl fucking born. Enjoy what you got. Don't push yourself. Maybe give us one last hurrah. A farewell, walk in the sunset kind of match. I definitely see you needing that, but don't think you're gonna go out there and be a fucking AJ Styles in Japan and fucking go hard with
headbutt competitions that he used to get into.
That was one thing he said in the interview as well, is that he wants to change his style. He's not going to back to working some 200 some dates like for a WWE schedule. He wants to work a reduced schedule, and really the Indies would be a good spot to do that, where you can pick your shows, pick your spots. If he wants to work a grappler's type of style, which is what he was kind of known for a little bit beforehand. I mean, he had his hard-hitting, dangerous matches that put Nigel McGuinness on the shelf for good, as well as contributed to Daniel Bryan being in the spot that he's in now. So he's had that in his past. But he's a smart guy, and he's seeing and talking to smart people about this issue. So he's going about it the right way. So I think if we see him wrestle, it's because he has talked to all of the right people, done all of the right things, taken the right precautions, because he is thinking of his family first. Yes, he wants to wrestle. It's a big part of what he wants to do, but he is aware and knows, obviously, he doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize his own
You can just see it on the look on his face with this whole Survivor Series situation going on, and like him in the ring. That's hard, man.
Well, and think about it too. The WWE is going to clear a guy like Kurt fucking Angle on a whim, but Daniel Bryan's on the fucking shelf. I mean, come on, come on. You talk about concussions and fucked up issues. At least Daniel Bryan is a really healthy guy, takes care of his body
at least
anyway.
Can stand in the ring,
right?
He's never broken his neck.
Kurt Angle has had substance abuse issues, all of this shit in his past, and they as soon as they need a fucking guy, there's Kurt Angle up there. But Daniel Bryan's on the shelf, so there's something to be said about all of that too. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. We got Survivor Series to talk about. Let's talk some Monday Night Raw.
Change the subject.
Monday Night Raw.
Is my drumming ever piss you off, Joe? How inaccurate it is.
Watch me.
No, I'm too busy drumming.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, it started off with Stephanie threatening Kurt Angle's job some more, then plants seeds of doubt with Team Raw, saying, this and that, and people can't get along, and this and that and the other. Reigns comes out and gets to talk big back at Stephanie. Reigns is like the only guy in the world that can actually talk back to Stephanie, get the last word. They have nothing has changed. Reigns has been gone for a month. He gets to come back and talk real big to Stephanie. What'd you think of this? Fucking Stephanie saying, "Where have you been?" And Reigns saying, "Where have you been? You got knocked out by a table at WrestleMania. I'm by your husband, and you're just coming back now."
I like that he specifically pointed out by her husband, because like Seth kind of started like ducking, like, "Ooh, like, hey man."
Yeah. I didn't much care because it kind of made Seth look like a bitch there a little bit too.
It was kind of a comical situation, though. Where have you been? Where the fuck you been, bitch? Like,
so they say, "We do what we want. It doesn't matter what you say, Stephanie, and we're going to challenge the New Day at Survivor Series." So pretty predictable what happened here with the New Day coming in, going under siege a couple of weeks ago, and then the New Day being right at the head of the under siege movement there, and then the New Day contributing to the Shield guys losing the tag team titles last week. So that's kind of what we got here. And then, of course, kind of moving in over to SmackDown. We're probably going to be back and forth. Just so we get it in, how about it? Let's
SmackDown Live.
I can be a superhero. I'm going to make this a tag team match.
best thing Ziggler's done all year.
Last time we did a commingled pay-per-view preview, we didn't get the SmackDown sounder in, so I wanted to make sure, because we're going to be bouncing all over the place here.
Yeah, we are.
But yeah, the Raw guys put SmackDown under siege this time. The much anticipated revenge finally from Monday Night Raw. But yeah, the Shield are out there taking out Shane and laying out Shane and all of that. The fucking Raw music playing at the end of the beatdown on SmackDown was a bit obnoxious.
I enjoyed the Raw beatdown more than the SmackDown beatdown, though.
It was slightly less obnoxious with the cameras behind closed doors and whatnot, and the goofiness of the New Day going around beating people up. So New Day versus the Shield, or New Day, New Day versus the New Day versus the Shield. I'm correct for once. Obviously, it's Roman Reigns just murdering everybody, right? This is what we're doing.
I kind of want to go New Day on this. I think the Shield's back. They're big. Let's keep New Day on the run they need. They're probably going to get themselves back into the tag title picture sooner or later. Maybe even going back against the Usos, depending on their type of feud and what they've got going on. But I like New Day in this one. I think it's give it to the fun guys.
Taco.
Man, I'm with you, Joe. I want to see like Kofi pin like fucking Rollins or Reigns, just because I know you're saying tag title picture. I want to see them kind of branch out a little bit.
Think it's singles?
God, I almost feel like there's gonna be some fucking Tom Duggery going on though.
Skullduggery,
excuse me. But because they kept pointing out like, oh, we've never turning on each other. We've never had any issues, and fucking
which means they're turning on
Tom
each other.
Phillips started mentioning it too on commentary. And it's like, I hope we're not going this route with New Day, because you can keep these guys for a while. They're fun. They're money makers. They're awesome. But yeah, let's get them in some singles titles pictures, in my opinion. But I'm gonna take Shield over this one. They're pretty fucking hot right now.
Yeah, and with Reigns missing that last pay-per-view, I'm sure he was going to be, the guy getting the big win at the end of that one, probably over a Kane or Strowman or somebody like that, because that was what they were kind of building up to at the time. Although certainly you mentioned the skullduggery. Because we had the Strowman versus Kane match on Monday Night Raw that didn't really happen. It was just a big brawl. Certainly, which ended with the bullshit, the slamming Kane through the ring. But
did you see him bounce when they landed? Just boing.
Boing.
Oh man. But certainly the Kane factor is there. You could go back to Strowman, although Strowman's kind of a babyface now anyway, certainly with all the heels turning against him at the
I absolutely
TLC.
loved at the end of SmackDown when Raw came out, like Kurt Angle coming out and then Strowman coming out, like looking at Angle, like, is it my time? And Angle's giving him the nod, like, yes, dinosaur, go.
I'm glad you brought this up, because have you seen Jurassic World?
Yes.
You know, at the end, when the T-Rex and the Velociraptor just have that moment and they nod at each other, I thought that's
exactly why I said dinosaur. Go, dinosaur, go.
Oh, man, I was dying.
Fucking ESPN over here.
Nice. So yeah, I'm thinking the Shield gets the win in the versus the New Day, but certainly like the Kane factor is there, the Strowman factor of course is there as well. So we shall see. Mickie James back to Raw now. Mickie James versus Bayley versus Dana Brooke to determine who's going to be the last member for the Women's Survivor Series match. Bayley gets the win with the Bayley to Bayley over James, Mickie James, and the crowd was hot for this. The crowd popped for Bayley. We frickin' threw Bayley away last week. We didn't give a fuck. We're like, fuck Bayley's off. She's done. She's over with. She's horrible. Nobody cares. And then she comes out and the crowd's going nuts for her. She gets the win. The crowd goes wild. At one point, Dana Brooke is outside the ring and she slaps Asuka, which caused Asuka to go crazy and kick the shit out of Dana Brooke.
The look on fear of Dana Brooke's face is great.
Yeah, that's always fun.
She didn't look bad in this match, though. She held her own, kept it pace.
I mean, she was looking pretty good myself. I think.
And Booker with the expert analysis here.
You can tell Dana's been working out. All about sets and reps.
I had to rewind it when he said it. I thought he said sex and reps. I'm like, what did he just say? No, sets and reps, because she's looking good. She's working out.
You can tell Dana's been working out.
Dana.
All about sets and reps.
Sets and reps. Shucky duggy quack quack.
So yeah, Bayley added to the match. We'll get to that official prediction a little bit later after let's get to the SmackDown side of things. It was Charlotte versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship in Charlotte. Right after the Ric Flair 30 for 30 came out.
She dedicated the match to her dad on Twitter.
But it's that thing where, WWE never likes to have you win in your hometown. So they bucked that trend, thank goodness. But yeah, they did kind of pound it over our heads with the Twitter dedication, her getting the emotional victory, and then Ric Flair coming out congratulating her. I did think the match was a little bit fast. These two could put on a hell of a performance. I thought
for a TV match though, I thought they worked with what they had.
It was good for what it was. These two have been they had some great stuff down at NXT, but we just haven't seen it from these two on the main roster yet.
Yeah. Well, now I think we're gonna get it. It's just you have to wait till after Survivor Series, which I kind of like that. It gives you almost a break from like the standard television. Again, you got your teams fighting, you got your Under Siege, but it kind of just puts everything on hold, lets your brain settle for a minute, and just focus on just some fun matches that you're not going to see the rest of the year.
My other critique of what happened there, it was a really big emotional moment there with Charlotte and Rick at the end, but the announcers just had to cut away so quickly, like they were on the two hugging each other for 15 seconds or whatever, and then all of a sudden Saxton comes on. Okay, now switching gears, we're just moving right along. The announcers could have commented, said something nice, had a moment there. Okay, switching gears, as they're embracing each other on stage.
Sorry, I was too busy crying to pay attention to that.
Exactly, right? So I just thought that was a bit of an issue there. So, but the women's Survivor Series match: Alicia Fox, Asuka, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, and Bayley versus
Alicia Fox,
Carmella, Becky Lynch, Charlotte now, Tamina, and Naomi.
Did you mean Natalia? I was about to say it's not even guaranteed that it's going to be Natalia switching into that spot now.
Nope.
Correct. Did I?
You said Charlotte.
You said Charlotte.
You're right. You're right. Yeah,
but they're making a big deal about this mystery opponent thing because they're like, well, if it was Natalia, they'd just say it's Natalia. But now there's, again, they're throwing the rumor out, but the possibility of Paige.
Right, because Paige was at Raw, didn't do anything. Everybody kind of maybe expected her to get thrown into that 3-way, make it a 4-way. I like the idea of we just added Asuka to Raw. Let's add why would we add Paige to Raw as well? So I like Paige going to the SmackDown side.
I think they need a star like that, but I think she's just getting her sea legs back right now, just getting the grind of things.
I mean, she's been in the Performance Center for about a month or so now. But
you know how fucking shitty that touring is, so she's probably just hopping on, getting the routine, discussing ideas and whatnot.
You never know. It could be just a woman from the classics.
Well, if that's the case, Taco, who do you think is the mystery woman? Ooh. Taco's on the spot.
I got nothing. It's probably fucking Nikki Bella. Let's go with that.
Okay.
What else?
I've heard a couple of rumors on that.
Hey, Team SmackDown, Cena's back that weekend.
Oh God.
What? No. Yes.
So predictions for the match: Raw versus SmackDown Women's Survivor Series match. I'm leaning SmackDown on this one. I'm kind of leaning SmackDown, kind of winning a lot of stuff in this, just because they've hammered it home so hard. SmackDown's the B show. SmackDown's the B show. SmackDown's the B show. So I feel like SmackDown's going to win some of this stuff so they can gain some credibility back, have some bragging rights going
I see what you did there.
Yeah, he knows.
Oh, I get it.
have some swagger going forward, not Jack Swagger. He's in Bellator. But yeah, have a little bit of credibility coming out of this going forward after everybody's been beating it into our heads that it's the B show. So I'm predicting SmackDown. Let's see who's in this thing. Becky Lynch is going to pin Dana Brooke, even though she's not in it. She'll pin Alicia Fox. Dana Brooke is doing something else.
That's the case.
Dana's been working out. All about sets and reps.
Who do you think is pinning Asuka?
Nobody will. Oh, that's right, because it's an elimination style. Fuck, that's right. Asuka's got to win this thing, right?
Asuka's got to be queen shit.
Fuck.
Your prediction.
That's right, because she's undefeated.
This kills everything if she gets pinned in that.
I don't think she...
Can you get counted out in a Survivor Series match?
Which I think you can, because I've seen a lot of that used in the double count out kind of thing, where she's just going to be brawling with somebody, honestly. And they'll count them both out.
Dana Brooke could come out to retaliate, because, Dana's been working out. Fucking Booker.
Who booked this shit?
Booker can't even take a cue on this show.
Dana's been working out. All about sets and reps.
So Dana can come out in all of her muscular glory and interrupt the match, causing Asuka to chase her out of there and get counted out or something. I suppose that's a possibility.
It's an easy explanation. I'm agreeing with Tommy. I'm going SmackDown on this because just looking at the teams, like Alicia Fox. Let's start there. I mean,
Fox.
Thank you. And
why don't I have that sound?
Get on it.
You've got Tamina on the other side, but then you've got Becky Lynch, you've got Naomi, you've got possibly Paige. You've got a lot of wrestlers and a lot of people on the
Bayley,
rise.
fucking Nia Jax. She is.
Oh
the
yeah,
greatest
she.
wrestler of
Yeah, I was
all
about to
time.
say she is the greatest wrestler, isn't she?
It's a true story.
Nia Jax is the greatest female competitor to ever step in the ring.
She's not like most girls. We love ourselves too much.
Yeah,
don't
we do.
But yeah, my prediction is SmackDown as well.
The fans are going to win. I think it's I think it's going to be a really fun match. Like you, Taco, I love that you brought up the Asuka thing because that's a really intriguing story. Her not ever being pinned or whatever, pinned or submitted. But yeah, the DQ factor is in play. I think the countout factor is in play, and it's not going to matter at the end of the day because it is Survivor Series. But
it's still like if you go as long as she did without taking a pin like that, and you get pinned in a Survivor Series match,
that would be a
be
horrible
horrid.
decision.
Like,
horrible.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like it would have to almost be like a fucking a Page situation, and they just beat each other up to the back room, or just, like just something odd. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I see her just kind of. This is gonna be her putting her foot down, like women's division. Watch out, Asuka's here. I just beat these 5 women. Like that's the way to do it to me. It's just fucking. Let her kill everyone.
How about the openings? The opening of the match, Asuka is in there. She's the starter for Raw. Carmella decides to start for SmackDown. Asuka just kicks her in the head and eliminates her immediately.
Ooh, what if Emma's the surprise?
That's not gonna happen.
Keep on sucking.
Right. Well,
Christ.
The pre-show is going to be Kalisto versus Enzo for the Cruiserweight title. On Raw, we had Enzo teaming up with Gulak versus Kalisto and Tozawa. Kalisto and Tozawa are Gulak's ultimate kryptonite here because of all the chants from Gulak. But it was Enzo getting the win over Tozawa with Jardanzo.
Does it fucking matter?
Eat defeat, a.k.a. soul food, Jardanzo. Why are we fucking talking?
It's called the only move that he could figure out.
I think Enzo probably keeps it here. They already tried the switch to Kalisto. What do you guys think?
Well, with the rumors of a very possibility of Neville coming back, I pick Enzo to win, but just get demolished by Neville when he comes back, unless they are going to push him more towards the main roster.
I
hate saying Enzo's going to win.
I'm sticking with Enzo on this one. I don't know, him and fucking Gulak. Dude, Gulak's like one of my favorite things right now. Like,
and certainly
and
Gulak.
he's helping with this whole fucking
How you doing?
Enzo situation
I'm fine.
right now. Yeah, dude, like chasing him around on stage and shit. Like, it's a great combo. I like where this is going right now.
Right.
So,
and he can be the contributor of the skullduggery.
at first it was annoying seeing Enzo with the championship, but he's putting more matches on now, so that's good to see. Actually, him doing something instead of being thrown around for 5 minutes. It's just you're in WWE, man. You're the champ now. Let's get some matches going. Even Ellsworth was getting a match going. So, but yeah, we're gonna keep the strap on Enzo.
Miz TV, another great Miz promo, talking some shit to Baron Corbin, saying that Corbin squanders his opportunities. Fucking, I love these Miz promos. This is going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Corbin keeping the title on SmackDown, having his match versus Sin Cara, winning with the ugliest end of days I might have ever seen. That was a bad match there, boy.
Same thing with what's the other fucking movie does?
Deep Six.
Deep Six.
Yeah, that was
Deep Six didn't look good either.
Hunico was fucking sandbagging Corbin in this match. He did not make Corbin look very good
After
at all.
what he did to him in the fucking overseas, you see him stepping on his ankle like that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Nasty photo, man. I'm surprised he didn't get fucked up from it.
But yeah, I'm really hot for Miz in this one. That's going to be my prediction. I think Miz just makes a mockery of Baron Corbin. Taco, what do you think?
We got that Miztourage factor in it.
Right, you got the skullduggery. I don't think Miz even needs any skullduggery though. He does not need. I love Axel in the fucking brace, by the way, though too. At one point, Miz is running away from somebody, and he's got fucking Axel in front of him with on commentary. Baron's like he's hiding behind a man with a neck brace. So I enjoyed that.
I'm gonna go Corbin on this one though.
God, you're a dick.
He just fucking, I don't want to, man, but he just fucking beat AJ Styles clean, and he's just a newly crowned champ. So keep him looking strong. Miz can take a loss and still fucking talk his way out.
Keep on sucking.
Yeah, but I feel like we say that a lot. That Miz can take this loss. Miz can take.
Yeah,
no,
how
you
long
can
has he been
only
champ?
Yeah, not that long. It's been around for a little while, but he lost it for that little bit.
He's out of the majority of the year, though.
But you know what? Fuck both of you.
What else?
Either way, Miz is taking Corbin to
I
school.
hope so.
Bray Wyatt took on Jason Jordan. This was in an effort to help get Jason Jordan over, give him a credible match with, and show Stephanie that he can hang and deserves to be in the Survivor Series match. I got a kick out of Angle and Stephanie watching this match in the back. Just Angle, like the proud papa look on his face was really fucking good. I really enjoyed that part of it. But what do you guys think was the promo for this that was leading up to it, right? Where the teary-eyed Jason Jordan promo.
No, that was after the fact because Bray attacks him after the match.
Oh, that's right. What did you guys think of that? I saw some negativity on that aspect of it.
You want to take this one?
Not saying that I absolutely hated it, but it was not the right promo for him. It just didn't fit for me. He hasn't established himself as a strong character. He's just been this baby Kurt Angle bitch, and I mean, I'll give him an A for effort. I mean, the emotion was there for the promo. It didn't feel right with Jason Jordan.
I enjoyed it basically for the same reasons you just said, just because it hasn't been like he's been Kurt Angle's son until recently, and I like that he's starting playing that up a little bit. Like, Dad, hey, Dad. How many times have you heard him say Dad this whole time since he came over Raw? None. So it was really
so bad.
But it's I'm trying to look at the long picture though.
I know
it wasn't the best promo, but he's trying. It's something new. He's pushing himself, and they're pushing the situation. Kurt Angle can make anything fucking work. He's Kurt Angle.
Well, that's why I say A for effort too, because I can see that he's putting thought in this, whether it's written for him or not. He's putting the effort forward and trying to establish that feeling again for the Dead. So I give that. It just felt off to me.
I like the that it did take him off their Survivor Series card. It was kind of weird that he was in it. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people are kind of bitching, hey, there's no one fucking new or rising superstars in here. Where's all the young guys on them? Well, usually when we put the younger guys in there, it fucking sucks, and you end up with a Tyler Reeks or something.
All right, I'm gonna get out.
I like that. This is a star-studded cast that's in this Survivor Series right now. The championship caliber matches that have gone on through all these guys, including Shane McMahon, not championship caliber, but what I'm saying, it's just such an awesome fucking stars going into this. It's awesome, and I like it for Jordan too, because it's going to be a way to set up a match with him and Bray Wyatt, a little feud there.
Sure,
kind of put him up with someone that we know can do some.
That's
good
a good
ring
spot
work.
for both of those guys.
It's a good spot for both of them right now, and Bray Wyatt definitely needs some rebuilding right now a little bit.
Big time.
But just kind of backburner him a little bit. You fucking kind of went too far in the deep end. You might as well brought in the White Rabbit tribe from Lucha Underground with some of the shit you guys were doing, and it would have made sense actually. But it's a good feud. He had that minor feud with Elias, so I'm just trying to look at the big picture overall, and it puts him in a good spot, and it gives us even a big, Triple H is fucking in it. Awesome, dude. I'm geeked for it. I don't know how you guys are.
Well, that's what I was about to, I feel a little bit of a rant going in me right now. But
we gotta talk the Triple H thing.
But
I'm fucking stoked for it.
While I am stoked, and I know it was a good match, the combination of every single change over the last 2 weeks has kind of taken me out of it a little bit.
Really?
I'm excited for the matches. I'm not saying I'm not, but I like the story build. I like everything that makes sense. And with WWE, just be like, oh, Triple H is in here now. Oh, John Cena's over here in SmackDown for no reason because he was just on Raw not too long ago.
See, that's the only one that I have some beef with is the John Cena situation.
I've got beef
He's
with
a free agent.
I've got beef with the Natalya Charlotte switch. Yes, it was a great moment, and yes, they took advantage of a great moment. But I wanted to see Natalya Bliss.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that match. I wanted to see Shield versus Usos. I was geeked for that match just because of online and the fact that they're battling through social media and then battling on the show. I wanted to see that, and then just boom, change it. It just kind of took like a good portion of the vibe out for me.
I hear you there. I am excited for the Charlotte Bliss match. I'm still
gonna be good.
I'm still excited for the
Usos in the bar.
The bar and the Usos. That'll still be really good. And Triple H replacing Jason Jordan. That's a big upgrade in my book.
That is a big upgrade.
This whole event to me just feels like someone fucking's been playing 2K and just did their own fantasy booking. That's just like it just every match is super exciting to me right now. Like
it's just a money
just
grab.
all these twists and turns that they've been giving us. Like built more excitement in me because going into it's like, oh cool, this is gonna be a pretty solid card so far. Excitement, cool. Oh, War Games is the day before, awesome.
Yeah.
And just like it's like we didn't know shit. Like, if you look at the original card to now, it's like we didn't know shit going on. And, originally it was a lot of bad guy versus bad guy versus bad guy with no real direction or anything on it. So
it's a hot card.
I like that stuff. And maybe it's the WCW
now.
factor.
And I like that, we do have a little bit more of the balance of, heel versus face, good versus evil going on. Even in the Miz and Baron Corbin feud, match that's going on. Fucking look at, so that's bad guy versus bad guy in a sense. And fucking we're like, go Miz, go! Like, it's just that he could flip it on. Shield versus New Day, that's another, babyface versus babyface. I think New Day is going to play the heel in this situation, and it's going to be glorious.
They kind of have to.
They have to be, but we know they can with on SmackDown, just that fucking how long the two of them did the unicorn stomps in the corner there. They just went on. I was like, yes, we're going to see the ruthless
them
fucking
being
New Day.
the head of the Under Siege gimmick or whatever.
Yeah, so it's just, it balanced itself out right now to a good, like I said, good versus evil spot. When it comes down to Raw versus SmackDown being in that position too, I'm super excited for this shit.
All right, let's talk this Triple H thing. So he was back for the European tour, replacing guys like Roman Reigns and more recently Kevin Owens. He's taking place of Kevin Owens versus Jinder Mahal on the India tour, which is no longer a tour. It's just one date because they were not selling any tickets, which is probably why Jinder Mahal is no longer your WWE Heavyweight Champion. But it was going to be Triple H in that spot. Triple H replacing Jason Jordan. What do you think of this? What do you think of fucking Triple H hitting the pedigree on Jason Jordan getting the biggest babyface pop you've ever heard, even though it's the Stephanie and Triple H Authority Hour? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. Taco.
I'm stoked. Like I said earlier, I am a Triple H fan. He was my faves growing up. So just seeing him in this star-studded lineup, it's fucking awesome, man. And it was just so surreal seeing him face to face with Kurt Angle in the middle of the ring. And it's just like, just him pedigreeing Jason Jordan was just like, oh yeah, let's fucking throw that cake in the oven right now. So it's just like the long build is gonna start with this now, and I'm excited. And yeah, we're kind of getting some of the the authority bullshit back, but fuck it, we got a good break from him, and it's I like Kurt Angle's GM role. It's been, Raw's been pretty solid for a while now.
It's been great having Kurt Angle as the GM, Stephanie gone.
I do like that bitchy Stephanie McMahon vibe sometimes, as long as it's not too much. But like she was perfect
it was like twice this week. It was already two, and she came out at the beginning of the show.
I liked it right at the beginning. I enjoyed it because it was.
I'm with you.
It was just like, oh fuck, she's back. It's that real heat, and then just her start going to her same shit, and fucking Roman Reigns calling her out like, bitch, where you been? Like, it was just, everything was so perfect to me in that situation, and it's just like fucking even got Roman Reigns over a little bit more, him calling out the fucking boss like that. So fuck it, man.
Right on. The men's Survivor Series match, Team Raw, Angle, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, and Triple H taking on Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, and John Cena. What a holy shit, man!
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot going on in this.
I feel like SmackDown needs the win here. Just B show. But again, with Triple H coming back here, who's gonna take him out? You know, who's gonna who's taking out Samoa Joe and Finn Balor and Braun fucking Strowman? I mean,
that's where the Kane situation comes into play.
Are we exactly? You got the skullduggery factor. Who's taking out Nakamura? Although he's the shine is kind
Apparently
of off of
fucking
him.
Strowman. Just see Nakamura try to kick him and hit him. It was just like, just get off of me. Throw you out.
I actually saw a tweet from Bobby Roode too, kind of getting into Triple H. So I kind of want to see Bobby Roode and Triple H in the ring, the glorious one versus the game.
Well, just seeing the NXT boys against Triple H is gonna be exciting.
Just looking at the at this now here. The SmackDown side of thing, I don't think anybody is younger than 36.
No, they're all pretty up there. Yeah,
maybe
I think
even 37
Bobby
or 38.
Roode is the youngest.
I think you're right.
I mean,
Nakamura maybe.
I think Nakamura is a year or two older.
I can't wait till they list how many world championships are standing in the ring right now.
Right. At least on the Raw side, you do have Samoa Joe, who isn't exactly young either. Finn Balor, in his younger 30s. Strowman's, is on the younger side of these guys, but at least you have some newer talent on that side. So, but just looking at this, I'm thinking my prediction is Raw getting the win, even though I think SmackDown kind of needs it here. Mm-hmm. Taco, what do you think?
Fuck, see, this is what's so exciting about this fucking whole card is like all these matches essentially could go either way. Like, excitement.
That's what's fun about predicting them is the fact that we win.
But yeah, there's so many possibilities. Like who, fucking, what, where. I'm definitely with you, leaning towards the SmackDown side. So because it makes sense to me that somebody would take Triple H out to cause even more tension between Kurt Angle and Triple H. Like, well, you were even able to take them out or finish the job.
Maybe Kurt Angle takes out Triple H.
I feel like, with the whole Samoa Joe and Finn Balor situation going on, they're at each other's throat. Just
that whole team could explode.
Does feel like a more cohesive unit, even though you have Braun Strowman on fucking Twitter being like, I'll do anything for my brothers. Like, but I'm gonna be Team SmackDown, being 2-0 in this kind of situation.
I'm not like most men.
Joe, what's your prediction?
I'm going SmackDown Live on this one. Like you said, I think they need the win, and it's hard to pick who's it going to be, but John Cena is going to be the fucking last pick. It's going to be fucking John Cena.
And there's the potential for the Raw team to implode with, like you were saying, the Balor, Samoa Joe, and the Triple H. And
I would love the last two to be like John Cena and Finn Balor. Be like, what the fuck is this world right now? Like,
I kind of going back to Raw and Triple H hitting the pedigree on Jason Jordan. I almost think that might have been impromptu, just because I feel like Kurt Angle didn't know what to do because like he should by all rights be angry and want to kick Triple H's ass, but he looked so surprised and was like, oh, Jason Jordan, but at the same time
he always looks surprised though.
It's true, but it's just
damn true.
It's more fun to think of it that way, that Triple H would be like, god damn, this crowd is really, really hot and really wants me to fucking pedigree this Jason Jordan fuck, and so he just hit him with the pedigree.
Boom.
But I'm sure it was part of the plan. I'm just saying it. I'm working myself into a shoot or whatever, and so I'm just having some fun with it. We got to talk about this Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar segment with the 5 selling points. The first one being that this will be the first time ever Universal Champion versus WWE Champion, and quite possibly the first and only match between AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar. AJ has speed on his side. That's his point number 2, and he's a better in-ring performer than Brock Lesnar. Number 3, don't interrupt Heyman's promo with your wedding proposal disposal. Styles is the ultimate opponent, but has to overcome the odds, and references him being a Georgia boy, which gets him really over here in Atlanta, Georgia, where Raw was. Point number 4, it's the Rocky movie come to life story. And number 5, F5, point F5, Suplex City, and it will be an onslaught. And I also liked the Daniel Bryan 5-point rebuttal from SmackDown. Fucking Daniel Bryan being the advocate for AJ Styles was so hot. How good is Daniel Bryan cutting promos and on the mic? That was just so good. Though, and especially in comparison, because it was like the beginning of SmackDown was Shane doing that cheesy Blue Room pep talk where he was like standing on that stage or whatever, and then you finish up with that, and then it's Daniel Bryan actually rallying the crowd behind AJ. He calls Lesnar a quitter. He says he tapped out to a half-ass knee bar in the UFC.
The look on his face when he said that was like, gulp.
So I loved those promos. This is a huge main event. Whether it's the main event or not, I don't know. But this is going to be an awesome match.
Good one.
It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, Lesnar puts a lot of effort into it. But I think either way,
fucking Lesnar is running to the stage on Raw. Like, that dude looks pumped for this match, man. Like, you go from Jinder Mahal to AJ Styles. That's big right there. Like, you don't have to do the work to get someone, over. You're going in for a fucking war. That's the kind of dude Brock Lesnar is. So,
yeah, I think Lesnar's going to get the win ultimately, but it's going to be a hell of a match. I'd like to see a nice mutual respect gimmick after the match. That would be really nice. Give a nice rub to AJ Styles for putting in the effort. What do you think, Joe?
I actually agree with you 100%. I think Brock Lesnar is going to take the win, but I think this is going to be. I think we're going to be disappointed in the length of this match, just because, again, like Daniel Bryan was saying, does Brock Lesnar have the gas to go with fucking AJ Styles?
And it's a loaded show too, with 2 Survivor Series matches and all these other matches.
So I just feel like this could disappoint.
But look what he was able to do with Samoa Joe in that little amount of time too. Like, that was a fun fucking match that they put on together, and we got the whole delayed Goliath situation going on with these two. So it's just, I'm hoping they give us the right fucking story and the right match. If you listen to another podcast, we do Wrestling 3-Wind on the Fans podcast.
Yes.
We brought up Michael Buffer.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of one thing I'm kind of salty on is this match and all the switch-ups we talked about, because this feels like a fucking giant fucking match for the wrestling world to me. Like fucking Mayweather, McGregor kind of just like excitement, but
this is a match you bring Michael Buffer in for.
So like, to me, like, this is a match I wish we were pumping up. We were promoting for a month and a half nonstop. And you mentioned on there that you miss some of those WCW matches where they brought them in for some of the big title matches.
Yeah,
this is one of those matches where I would love to see something like that. Like,
that would be
fucking,
hot.
Michael Buffer coming down, because it just gives it that fucking that feeling, and this match has that fucking feeling. But God, yeah, fucking you got to keep Lesnar a monster in this situation. You can clearly tell that AJ Styles could take a loss and still end up a champion 2 weeks later somehow. So I'm going Brock Lesnar as well.
Yeah, it's pretty predictable match
Borg
here,
Laser.
but should be a lot of fun. Back to Raw, the Shield versus Miz and the Bar. This was your Shield reunion right here on the Go Home for Raw. It was supposed to be originally at TLC a couple of weeks back, but here we had it just on a Raw. How do you feel about that? Any criticism there? Should we have saved the official reunion for another pay-per-view? But of course, you're not going to do it at Survivor Series, so
just would take too long. There was just too much time to work with. Get it out there, get the Shield going, and build them up into Survivor Series, and then you can set them up with a feud after the fact.
Yeah, it almost like seeing that, Survivor Series is kind of the Shield kind of pay-per-view where they debuted and all this shit. It does seem like it would make more sense to have them officially reunite on there. But with the whole TLC thing kind of falling through and everything, it's just get it out there, make the fans happy.
Yeah,
and
I wasn't mad at it.
I did enjoy the ending of SmackDown, and you wouldn't have had that if we didn't have a Shield reunion. So.
There you go. Yep. And yeah, I liked this match. I liked the Miz running away into the crowd. The crowd was just really hot for this match. Big hot tag to Roman, and the crowd was into Roman coming in and running wild on that hot tag.
That Shield was the big reset for him.
Yeah, and a big hot finishing sequence in the match. The Shield getting the win. Finn Balor teaming up with Samoa Joe to go against Anderson and Gallows. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe getting along here in the match. So putting off the idea that they will probably end up clashing at the Survivor Series itself. But a fun match there and a hot finish again. Joe dives after a big Insiguri. It kind of reminded me of like a War Machine match in New Japan or Ring of Honor where fucking Hansen will hit like a big pop-up power slam, then dive on the other guy outside of the ring, and then the other guy in the ring will go for the finish. And so that the finish in this with Joe fucking hitting a move, diving out, and then Balor going for the coup de grace kind of reminded me of that in this match.
Former Dusty Rhodes Classic winners.
There you go. Exactly. There you go. I forgot about that. So let's kind of run down the rest of. I wanted to make sure we get everything from anything important from SmackDown. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn took on the New Day as advertised, and of course, a lot of people were speculating: are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn even going to come back to SmackDown after being sent home from the European tour? Were they going to bury him on TV? Are they going to make them look like idiots? But they didn't do a finish in this match. This is when the Shield showed up and everything blew up.
Ducked out,
and they got the fuck out of there. I also liked at the beginning of the show. I talked about the cheesy Shane McMahon pep talk. Fucking, if you looking in the back, you can see Sammy and Kevin Owens in the back of that thing. They don't give a fuck. They're just like, fuck.
Well, sure, they're not even on the fucking card.
Right. So I enjoyed that aspect of it too.
See, that's another situation we didn't think about the 5-on-5 is those two coming out dicking SmackDown over.
Exactly. That's definitely a big possibility. Chad Gable versus Jimmy Uso on SmackDown. Jimmy Uso won with a super kick after some skullduggery.
Did you see that fucking fall he took, almost Enzo-like, into the second rope?
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal.
Gable and Benjamin playing heel in the match, but the lines are blurred nicely in the match.
That crowd popped hard for the Usos, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard for them.
So, yeah, good
promo, too, again, by those guys. They're fucking on point right now.
I wouldn't be disappointed with Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin going heel either in the situation.
No, that'd be fine. And I think that would actually work to help get Chad Gable over more with a nice smarmy heel run with fucking Benjamin out there oohing and ahhing for him, I think.
American Alpha 2.0.
Exactly. All right, other stuff from Survivor Series. We didn't do it.
We didn't talk about the Bar and Usos yet.
Well, that's what I mean. We haven't gotten to the rest of Survivor Series. The Bar versus the Usos here. Start with it since you're so hot, Taco.
I'm actually looking forward to this match.
Me
I was,
too.
Stoked for, ideally Shield against Usos since we got all that fucking hype up for it. But yeah, man, fucking Usos somehow slid over to the baby face roles again and are over this time.
Yep.
And fucking Bar's on point too, so this is gonna be a fucking hard-hitting match.
Yeah.
I'm super fucking stoked for this one, and it's probably one top 3 match of the night right here. God, man, I'm going Usos on this one.
I'm with you. I think the Usos got to get the win here. The new babyface turn, having that awesome feud with the New Day earlier. They got their new gimmick that's more like themselves or whatever.
That's one of the most over division right now on SmackDown.
And
so
again, SmackDown needing wins for that credibility. I like the Usos in this one too. What do you think, Joe?
Going the Bar. Bar going to take it. The Usos are established. They've been champions for a little while. Bar won it, a week ago? So
What else?
I mean, just a good reason to keep them looking strong. And like you guys said, I mean, this is going to be
Absolutely.
a fucking hell of a match.
The other match we didn't get to yet, Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. I think Charlotte takes this one just because of she just won the SmackDown title back, the 30 for 30 thing, the emotional moment with Rick from SmackDown. I think it's a good story. Alexa Bliss, the perfect heel for her, the chicken shit heel. She's,
she slugged her so fucking awesome in that
so
back
good.
room when the women beat the shit out of each other.
Yes.
Oh, I loved that shot so much. And just, it's Charlotte's friend circling her and just fucking Alexa out of nowhere, just pop!
Yeah, that was hot.
So, it just made that one shot punch, though, more credible, too. Just, bam, knocking Charlotte on her ass like that.
Sure.
Yeah, man, be looking out for that, too.
What's your official prediction?
At first, I was on the Alexa Bliss side, but now that Charlotte is champ and, newly fresh champ, yeah, I'm going on Charlotte on this one.
Joe?
Charlotte takes it. I mean, I can't disagree.
All right, let's get into NXT Takeover War Games.
Change the subject.
Are we going to talk about Aiden English against Samson Elias?
Gee, I wonder why.
I just ripped that up.
God, I want to see that now, though.
Sing off, dude?
Is that a pre-show match?
No, I just made it up.
Oh, okay. That'd be hot though.
Oh man, that's so good.
Yeah, NXT Takeover.
Or at least a duet for like a Rusev Day duet.
NXT Takeover War Games. I'm gonna.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna include the two TV matches that they're gonna show next week on NXT TV because they are going to tape them in Houston as part of the pre-show or whatever there. So Ruby Riott versus Sonya Deville had a nice little story between.
Oh, that's a pre-show?
Yeah, but no, this will be on TV next week.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it'll be taped at the Takeover event. So we'll just add these into the predictions for fun, kind of extending it into next week's NXT TV. So they told a nice story between these two, with Ruby Riott having the knee injury ankle injury. Basically, she didn't tap out to Sonya Deville in the three-way qualifier match, and so suffering an injury. So now these two are coming head to head again. I'm thinking Ruby Riott here. It's the natural story, higher on the card. I like what they're doing with Sonya Deville. It's just not quite ready for a big win over Ruby Riott yet, in my opinion. What do you think there, Taco?
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. Sonya Deville, she's definitely. I've knocked on her in the past, but she's definitely made improvements, and yeah, she's only in mini feud range right now.
Joe, what do you think?
I'll go Sonya Deville, be devil's advocate in this one. Just, fuck you, Taco. And I like Taco saying, I've actually just been liking the little bit we've seen of her the backroom stuff. She's been calm. She's been confident. That MMA style, there's been no hiccups in my mind. It might be time to give her that big win. I mean, Ruby Riott hasn't technically even established herself as a contender even.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind that either, but I think this would be a good spot for Ruby Riott to start moving back up, because she came in hot, but had a couple of side feuds with Nikki Cross and stuff, and now she's just kind of there. So I think a big win would boost Ruby Riott, but certainly it would heat up Sonya Deville quickly. It'd be someone you could have her get a win here, and then have her go for a champion.
Top tier women right now, though. It'd be so hard to get her up there.
Well,
now.
she'd be someone you could heat up with a couple of decent little wins and get a championship shot where she loses and then moves back down. So that's someone you could really do that with either of these two.
Yeah.
Also, next week on NXT TV, Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano for the UK title. Ooh. This could be very good.
Yes.
This could actually potentially rival the Pete Dunne versus the former champion Tyler Bate. Remember that match from that's a potential match of the year. This could be right up there with that if they give it time. It is a TV match after all, but should be very good nonetheless.
With how many highlights they usually show on the following show of NXT that they'll show on NXT, I think they'll give this one time. They usually have like two solid matches.
Right.
So I'm hoping they give it the time, because again, you think Tyler Bate, he's 19, he's a pretty good wrestler. You throw Johnny Wrestling in there, whether or not he's winning, he's going to make you look fucking good.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I think Johnny Gargano wins the UK title. What? It doesn't make any sense. He's not a UK guy, but my God, does Johnny Gargano need a win here? So it'd be a really fucked up story.
I'd be okay with it for the fact that they need to get that UK title on TV more, whether that's with Pete Dunne, with Tyler Bate, Mark Andrews, whoever it may be, or Johnny Gargano. They need to get that UK title on TV, whether it be NXT or slowly building into their own show.
I'm over here talking like fucking Russo, making shit up like Gargano's going to win the UK title. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Fuck it.
But I could see them with Pete Dunne's recent performance on Raw in 205. I could see them wanting to move him up there, possibly.
Well, they got some faith in this guy. They got a shirt of his on the website right now, and I don't see any other fucking 205 guys really have merch right now.
Right. And well, you could certainly make an argument for Gargano making a move up to 205 Live as well, same as Dunne. So I don't know. What's your official prediction, Taco?
I'm going to say Dunne's going to keep it.
Makes the most sense, actually. Then move on to the main TakeOver War Games card. Aleister Black taking on the Velveteen Dream. Love this build. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Will Aleister Black say his name, acknowledge his existence? I'm into this. Aleister Black, I think, wins the thing with that kick. But this match is going to be all about Velveteen Dream just poking that bear, getting in his face, and just rubbing it in. But then Aleister Black,
I think it'll get really aggressive.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah.
That Velveteen Dream match from NXT TV like a week or two ago, it was just a squash, but it was just him just being really physical.
He's not afraid to go hard.
Beating the snot out of whoever he was squashing. So, I'm looking forward to this. They did a great job building this up. Joe, what's your prediction?
Aleister Black all the fucking way.
Any difference there, Taco?
No, I'm on the same boat. This match can be super excited.
This is big for Velveteen Dream, though. I mean, like, literally, he went from 0 to, like, 60, like, with us in the last couple weeks. Like, nothing. Like, I hated on the guy initially. I honestly can't listen to him. I can't listen to him do an interview. Because he's licking and smacking his lips, you know,
do the
between
same
almost
shit
everything.
all podcast, Joe.
No, I don't.
Well, think about it right now. He's in a better spot than a guy like No Way Jose right now after this build to this match. So, and No Way Jose's not even on the card. So there's that.
No way.
Did you got any?
No, I'm on Black too. This match excites me though because what I was saying when we were watching NXT is like people are like, oh, I want Attitude Era back, and just looking at these two on screen screams Attitude Era to me. Just two far-fetched looking guys right now. They're gonna go hard in there. Fucking, they ain't afraid to fucking slug each other. So it's just like, yeah, man, this is what it is. I'm excited for this.
And this is proof that you can do what you say, something that reminds somebody of an Attitude Era kind of thing. Yeah. And you can do it in a TV PG environment.
It's like, it's still there, you guys. It's just, you're not going to get fucking beer drinking titties on the screen anymore. It's just...
fuck.
But, it's like...
That is so profane,
I like seeing
Dana.
characters, too, in wrestling. Like, we step away from that a little bit too much when it comes to the WWE world, because they want, like, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, like these wrestlers, not like a Goldust or Velveteen Dream, where it's The Rock. We don't get that much anymore, like wrestlers, where it's just a nickname but a name, to me. Sure. So it's fun seeing this.
Anybody else ever notice that the Velveteen Dream's initials are VD? I don't know what I'm talking about.
That is so profane, Dana, and rude.
Cassius Ohno is going to take on Lars Sullivan in a battle of the beasts. Lars, who loves to breathe with his mouth open and just squash the shit out of people. Lars Sullivan had a nice little squash match versus Raul Mendoza. And at the end of the match, he just squashes the nuts out of this guy, just kills him, and he's got this scowl on his face, and I'm literally thinking, does nothing make this man happy? And then Cassius Ohno comes out and kind of challenges him, and all of a sudden, Lars Sullivan starts laughing at the guy. I'm like, oh, the sight of Cassius Ohno makes him laugh. It makes him happy. I just thought that was funny.
Fucking sweatshorts, man.
It could be.
Or
But
him nipping out through that shirt.
where do we go with this? Do you feel like elbows?
No. I think they're building Lars over doing anything with Cassius Ohno. We've literally got nothing from the guy. Just mini feud after mini feud. I'd rather see them do something with Lars at this point.
Taco.
I want to see Lars whoop his ass pretty much the whole match, and then just a tired, beat down, fucking war-torn fucking Ono throw that elbow into his face, and nothing happened. And Lars wins the match after that. That's what I want to see happen.
Basically a 10-minute squash where he gets one move and it doesn't work.
Like I want it to be a decent match between these two, but I know it's not really selling his move. It's not, not cool, but just seeing the elbow go into Lars's face and just Lars be like, what is that? And seeing Oh No have the oh no face going on. Oh, I would love that shit.
Yeah, to me, it really feels like a victory for Lars Sullivan. Is just the way they've built him up, and Cassius Ohno feels like nothing. Certainly, you could add a little skullduggery into this thing. Maybe Hideo Itami comes to the aid of Cassius Ohno, which really would make a ton of sense. But hey, I'm being Russo today, right?
Let's go crazy, man.
But no, yeah, I think Lars Sullivan will probably walk away with the win here. One thing that is nice about NXT Takeover is it is predictable, but it is indeed very entertaining along the way, much like New Japan. Pretty predictable, but oh god, it's good.
Oh yeah.
So there's that. The women's 4-way for the NXT Women's Championship. Kairi Sane versus Peyton Royce versus Nikki Cross versus Ember Moon. Ember Moon had a pretty decent match with Mercedes Martinez this week, who was questioning Moon's ability to perform and to win the big one. I thought Moon looked better in places. Mercedes had some moments in there, but I thought some things looked a little off.
She looked a little sluggish.
Something like that. Maybe she's got liver problems. Who knows? That's an old joke right there, if you've been listening for a long time.
Retro.
I'm not even going to look for that one.
Vintage Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
But yeah, Ember Moon looked great. I thought nice speed from Ember Moon. I really liked how she looked as far as that goes. But what's your predictions for this one, Taco?
Fuck, talk about predictable matches. This is lack of one.
This one's a little harder.
It feels like the storybook ending to be told here is Ember Moon walking out with that championship, but God, man, like I want to see it on Nikki Cross. I want to see it on Payne. I wouldn't be mad if she had it.
Peyton and Billy,
just back and forth,
gloating around with that title could be a lot of fun.
Great. Like I want these girls to have their own fucking YouTube show. They are fucking tearing it up on social media.
I gotta follow them. I don't think I follow either of them.
They're fucking like tormenting everyone in the back. It's great.
I gotta get on that.
Like I want an iconic T-shirt.
Well, just the look of Peyton when Kairi Sane started coming out at the end of NXT this week. Just that. Look.
And yeah, fucking it'd be so fun to put that title on Kairi Sane, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go for the iconic one.
It makes sense because it is a 4-way, and in WWE, any 4-way.
This match, anything goes.
So you've got the potential with Billy Kay, and
Skullduggery.
So that's certainly a possibility. Kairi Sane can technically lose the match without being pinned, so you've got that factor in there. Same thing with Ember Moon in there.
And I like that, like. I mean, I would love to see the championship on Ember Moon. Like, this chick is so fascinating to me. She's just awesome what she does in there. But I like that story of her falling short in the big ones. Like, I feel like that's a story she could bring over to the main roster eventually. So that way when she does win the big one, if she wins the big one, it's going to be like, holy fuck, she finally did it. And it's just going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm thinking Peyton here. I like the idea of Peyton and Billy gloating all the way to WrestleMania and them holding that title, and then finally at that point maybe Ember Moon gets the singles match or something, maybe a cage match or something like that. They could do a singles match for the Royal Rumble weekend, then bring it back for WrestleMania, and then really build it up.
And
but
Peyton somewhat too. You could tell that girl's putting in a lot of fucking work
Big
in
time.
what she's doing. Like, it's silly to notice, but like, she's even fucking doing the braces thing right now while she's in NXT. She's thinking in the long run for this, and it's like, like they all have this dedication, but I love seeing like the little details dedication. She's learning. Fucking that suplex she does, like fucking awesome, dude. Like just the simple wrestling moves we're fucking geeking out over still. Like Kairi Sane's elbow, fucking VD's elbow, like.
Oh yeah, he's totally only known as VD now.
But it's just
the Purple Rainmaker.
These simple wrestling moves are still right. Are just so fucking it's just awesome to see, and just when they're pulled off flawless, it's like it's shit like that why wrestling's so fun.
What a concept. Protecting finishers makes them good. Joe, what's your prediction for this one?
As I just got off saying fucking ruin Onos.
Right?
My prediction kind of factors later into the War Games main event in my mind, but I see Nikki Cross walking out with the title.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
I'm not mad at that.
All right, then it is Andrade Cien Almas taking on Drew McIntyre for the NXT title. McIntyre cut a nice promo on NXT this week. You know what I just figured out this week, and I think her name is Zelina with
Zelina,
a Z.
yeah.
I thought her name was Selena, but everybody this week was saying Zelina with a Z.
Zelina!
Am I late to the party on this? Was everybody? Did they change it, or was I just wrong?
I
think
was
you're
paying no attention.
Okay, so there's that. But yeah, the diminutive Zelina Vega with Andrade Cien Almas. We had the brawl between those two. Andrade hitting the double underhook DDT, whatever it is there. I'm looking forward to this. This should be really good, but I think ultimately Drew McIntyre is going to retain here. Joe, what do you think?
Disagree. I just because in my mind I want to picture it, but I think he would make an awesome heel champion. I just want to see Andrade with that title.
That would be kind of hot.
And I actually just saw, I believe it was ESPN posted an article about them having a popular Latino wrestler fighting in there. So just seeing that he's getting more out there, he's getting more exposure.
Did they talk about how tranquilo he is?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I want Andrade to win. Plus, I have no problem seeing Drew coming back and winning that title from him either.
Taco, what do you think?
I'm with you, Joe.
Yeah!
I want Andrade to have this fucking championship on him so bad. Since I did not get to see his work down in Mexico, but since day one of him coming to NXT, I've been a big fan of this dude. I love his look. I'm glad to see some progression finally on him. Pairing him up with Zelina has been fucking phenomenal for his character, and just both of them really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really pulling for him on this one. I'm gonna be rooting fucking Andrade.
Yeah,
he's 100.
When he came in, as a baby face, it fell flat, but this turn has done a lot for him. The Zelina Vega thing helping out a lot. But
he's just a man dime. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of rooting for him, but I'm seeing them keeping this on McIntyre.
Nope.
The big main event for the not for anything technically, for more bragging rights, the War Games match in 2 rings underneath a big cage that envelops both rings. The War Games match, Undisputed Era versus the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong versus Sanity. I'm at a loss here. I'm not really sure where to go. I'm kind of rooting for Undisputed Era.
So they technically the tag titles aren't involved with this at all, just because of the 3.
I don't think so. No, because it's 3. They're all 3-member teams.
Rule the belts with Authors of Pain and
Roderick Strong. That'd be so weird. Yeah, no, tag titles not on the line. I suppose if the who has the titles right now.
Sanity.
Okay. So yeah, Sanity kind of feels like the baby faces in this, but Authors of Pain, I feel like they haven't had a fair rematch either. I don't know what to do with Roderick Strong. The Undisputed Era are this new hot heel act that could use some credibility with a win, and I love Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, baby. So I'm not really sure who to go for here. I'm just going to go with my favorite. I'm going to say Undisputed Era gets the win. I'm going to go with my heart. Just because I'm not sure which way they're going to go going forward. But with those guys getting a win, they could possibly challenge for those NXT tag titles in the future and possibly get them, adding some more credibility to that group. Taco, what do you think for this one?
This is a fucking tough one.
What else?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning with you on this one. It feels like the new toy should win it. Essentially, it's going to make them going strong into that. We know Fish and O'Reilly want the tag titles already. They kind of hinted at that, so it's going to put them looking strong going into that situation. You already know what Adam Cole's eyes are fucking set on. He just wants straight gold, baby.
Right.
So you're going to keep them looking strong going into the that future. Authors of Pain, God, man, I like these guys. They're that success story I like, where they haven't been in there fucking long and they're grinding hard and they're making it work, and fucking look where they're at. They put on some fucking great matches for us. But I see them kind of being put back, either back burner or maybe moved on up sooner than later. Sanity, possibly. I think they're gonna be kind of too nuts for this match and maybe kind of take each other out in some cases. So yeah, I'm with Undisputed Era on this one.
And we got the other thing I didn't even think about here are the rules for this too. We kind of went over them last week, but one member from each team starts. You got 3 guys in there just to start. And then after 3 or 5 minutes, I forget, the rest of somebody else's team comes in.
Yep.
So one team is going to have a distinct advantage right away. A few minutes later, another rest of a team comes in, then another rest of a team comes in, and then after that is when the pinfall or submission could be scored. So depending on how they book all of that could really play.
Author, Sanity, Undisputed.
Certainly could be.
Yeah, I see Undisputed being picked last just for that instance of Adam Cole being in the ring with 4 dudes who just want to beat the shit out of him. Because that's going to happen.
Right. That
but
makes sense.
In my sense, that's the reason I picked Nikki Cross, is in the same sense that Undisputed wants all the gold. Sanity's in the same sense. They have the same goal for everything. So seeing them after this, in the next set of tapings, seeing her with the women's title in my mind and the tag titles, and then you can still throw Killian Dane into that heavyweight mix. He faced Drew McIntyre in a pretty good match for that number 1 contendership, so giving you the idea that he's in there. So I just see Undisputed and Sanity battling for the gold eventually.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But Sanity's going to win.
I feel like McIntyre's too down the road. Like, I feel like he could be a really good Royal Rumble surprise.
That'd be a good one, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really need to be in NXT too long. He's always going to be him.
That's true, and he's a guy that they could bring up really quickly and push him on the main roster.
He's gotten better, in the Indies and everything, but I don't want to knock on the guy, but he's never really struck that chord with me.
I hear that. He has done well on the Indies, but yeah, I hear you.
He's way better now than he was in his first WWE run.
NXT version is way better.
I definitely can picture him, against a John Cena or against a Randy Orton or against Bobby Roode again.
Sure.
I could picture these, big caliber matches with him in there nowadays as opposed to back then.
Right on. All right, I think that's going to do it for this show. Let's wrap it up with the WWE Tweet of the Week.
Now it's time for the WWE Tweet of the Week.
This one comes from @WWE. Breaking news. WWE has come to terms on the release of WWE superstar James Ellsworth. So follow this show on Twitter @BPW Podcast. Follow me @Tommy Striker, spell Striker with a Y. You gotta check out Strong Honor. Last week we talked about the fallout from Power Struggle. This week I talked about all the backstage promos that the guys cut. There were some awesome English.
I heard they've been translating them.
Right, they got English subtitles on their YouTube page. So I talk about all of that. Have some English audio from that. So good stuff on Strong Honor this week, as well as some Rev Pro talk.
Nice.
A couple of awesome matches: Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay, as well as Tomohiro Ishii versus Keith Lee. So check those out on Strong Honor this week. Earlier today, we recorded Wrestler 3 Wine, where we talk about DDP and 3 of his not-so-great matches. But a lot of fun. Check that out on thefanspodcast.com. Taco, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, at HGREVTaco.
And you can follow me at Joe BPWP. That's at Joe Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
What else?
That's going to do it for the show this week. Bye.
Peace.
Samoa Joe. Get it right in the nuts. Listen up, wrestling fans. What I said was, stop talking. Are you kidding me?
You can tell Dana's been working out. All about sets and reps.
Keep on sucking. What?
BWCHKABRWNCOW.
Ah, it's beautiful.
Soft.